Hello everyone. The former CAG Vinod Rai has come out with a new book and it is titled Not Just a Night Watchman, My Innings in the BCCI. Let's not forget that he was also the head of the Supreme Court mandated Committee of Administrators. We can see Vinod Rai on our television screens. Mr. Rai, I appreciate your time. Congratulations for the new book. And why is it titled Not Just a Night Watchman?
Well, thank you very much for having me. I have written in the book that I saw my role in the BCCI or the Committee of Administrators as night watchman. A night watchman in cricket terminology, I followed cricket from my younger days. A night watchman is a lower level batsman who is sent into bat when the day's game is finishing, maybe last 2-3 overs remain, and a recognized batsman gets out. So you don't want a new recognized batsman to be going in and being exposed to those 2-3 overs. You send in a night watchman. So night watchman's job is to play out those 3-4 overs only. We thought we were going to be doing just that, which means play out the 6 months, 8 months, and implement the Supreme Court order and get on with it. But as things stood, we were there for 33 months.
Yes,
so that's why I've said not
Rai, you
just
were
a
there.
night.
Yes, you took charge of the COA chairman job in 2017, and you were heading the BCCI in many ways for close to 3 years. This was almost an alien territory for you, but how challenging did you find this entire role? And you have elaborated quite a bit in this book.
Number one, it's cricket administration was alien territory for me. Cricket I followed from my younger days. So I've been a devout cricket fan, if I can say it, and right from the days of Polly Umrigar and Sanjay Manjrekar and people like that. Yes, cricket administration, and I've said somewhere in the book that it was with a sense of trepidation that I found myself stepping into the shoes of NKP Salve or Jagmohan Dalbia, legends of their own time, But please believe me that administration, whether it's a sports body, it's a corporate body, it's a government agency, basic administrative principles are just about the same across institutions. And once you are privy with those kind of parameters, those kind of principles, those kind of basic precincts on which administration should stand, it's not very difficult. So in that sense, I don't think it was too challenging.
Let's talk about Anil Kumble, Virat Kohli rift. You have written, Mr. Rai, that the great Kumble was too much of disciplinarian, and that perhaps was a problem for Virat Kohli and his squad. Could you tell us what really went so wrong that it was almost like beyond repair?
See, I don't know whether it was beyond repair or not, but it became beyond repair because unfortunately, Anil Kumble had only a 1-year contract. Normally, you would have seen with Ravi Shastri and now with Rahul Dravid, the contracts are for 2 years. And Anil Kumble was appointed in July of 2016. So it was only in April of 2017 that we got to learn that he had only a 1-year contract. And that 1-year contract didn't even have an extension clause. Now, it was not so much with Virat Kohli person to person. It was the team youngsters who felt a bit intimidated. That's what I've written, probably because of the discipline that was being imposed upon them. And we got to recognize the fact that in any team, in any game, dissonance in the dressing room is not a very healthy thing to happen. Basic synergies between the players goes awry, and that team cannot perform well. That is why we had to step into it and ensure that this dissonance does not persist over a large period of time.
It was widely speculated that Virat Kohli was keen on having Ravi Shastri as the team coach. How did Ravi Shastri make that comeback?
Oh, thank you for saying that it was widely speculated. Well, yes, there were lots of speculations going around. At one point of time, it was even believed that Viren Sehwag is going to be joining. And we were told that, look, you guys are going to be choosing Viren Sehwag, Well, Ravi Shastri had been a head coach earlier. His tenure seemed to have been a good tenure, but it was much before us, so we were not exposed to it. So I really cannot comment upon how well he handled the team at that point of time. But when we advertised this post, we said, among in the selection process, and the selection was not done by us, it was done by a very legendary team of cricket players, Sachin Tendulkar, Saurav Ganguly, and VVS Lakshman, icons of the game. They did the selection. They found among the presentations that was done, Ravi Shastri's stood out best. And hence,
and when
Ravi
you
Shastri.
said, when you say that it was told to you all that you will be choosing him, what does it actually mean?
Speculation. I said that in the context of what you said, that was widely speculated. The speculation also included Viren Sehwag,
Okay. Many thought that COA was harsh on Hardik Pandya and KL Rahul by suspending them for their comment on women in Karan Johar's show. Was the action justified?
Oh, thank you for saying that. Many felt that it was harsh, because I've just been told in another interview I did that we were indulgent on them. Neither way. See, both the players are young. They probably did not realize that they were on national TV. When you are young, inexperienced, and not trained in communication, the dressing room kind of banter breaks out and comes onto the fore. Now, they did a very regretful thing. They should not have used the words that they used. They expressed remorse for it when it was pointed out to them. They were withdrawn from the team when they were in Australia, but they were withdrawn only for 2 games. We put them back into it, and I'm on record to say that I felt that punishment was enough for them. Not only so, when their case went before the ethics officer, who was a retired Supreme Court judge, he fined them rupees 20 lakhs each. So at no point of time do I feel that we were harsh towards them. I think we took a kind of a balanced stand, because on the one hand, you can't ruin a player's career because he's of his off the field misdemeanors. On the other hand, you cannot let him off totally, because what he represents, what he says in public, is what represents the team. And they made very unfair comments. The comments were totally uncalled for. So to that extent, I think we were fairly reasonable with them.
And Mr. Rai, you have said that one of COA's greatest acquisition was persuading Rahul Dravid to head the NCA. How did you manage it?
I purposely use the word acquisition.
Yes.
When Ravi Shastri was selected as the coach, Rahul Dravid is, I think, one of our best players in every sense of the word. He's been an excellent batsman. He's been an excellent captain. His off-the-field demeanors have been absolutely wonderful. You can't fault him for anything. We approached him to take on the senior team as a coach. And Rahul was very fair with us. He told us upfront that after having retired from cricket, he needed to devote some time to his family. And joining as a coach to the senior team means traveling around the globe for 8 or 9 months of the year. You're living out of a suitcase. So that point of his life, he didn't want to be leaving the family alone, leaving his children and traveling. So he said, I want to remain a coach to the under-19 team, which does not tour so much. They are based in Bangalore. The training sessions are in Bangalore. We want to stay there. So 1 year later, then we approached him, say that, look, we want to make the National Cricket Academy a center of excellence. BCCI is among the richest sports bodies in the world, and we didn't have a world-class Academy. So we wanted to convert the National Cricket Academy into world class. So we said, you want to remain in Bangalore. You don't want to travel too much. Why don't you take up leadership of the National Cricket Academy? That's where he agreed. And that's why I call it an acquisition, because now he has, in fact, agreed to be coach of the team also.
Yes, and there is one chapter that you have mentioned about the Pulwama attack, and before the World Cup, the BCCI wrote to the ICC to isolate Pakistan. What was the thought behind this move?
See, look at it like this. Pulwama attack happened. It was a dastardly attack. It was a very cowardly act, in the sense that these were a convoy of policemen moving, and they were caught off guard. Bombs were thrown at them. Lots of lives were lost. Very dastardly,
Yes.
very
Yes.
reprehensible. But you have to separate sporting activities from these kind of activities. Now the issue is the sentiment that got which came out into public domain was, we should not play Pakistan because they have orchestrated this kind of attack in India. Now, similar kind of a situation happened during Kargil times. At that time, the World Cup was being played. India did play Pakistan. Now, my point in this was, fair enough. If the nation feels that we don't want to play Pakistan, let's not play. But if we don't play them in multilateral games, what will happen? Suppose India and Pakistan get into the semi-finals of a particular tournament, and because we don't want to play Pakistan, we withdraw. We give them a walkover. What are we doing? We are shooting ourselves in the foot, isn't it? Because umpteen times, Pakistan also has a reasonably good team. Umpteen times we'll be thrown up together, playing each other in international games. And each time if we start, withdrawing, then we'll be shooting ourselves. Our team will never be able to make it big. So our point was, let's play with them. And every time we play them, let's beat the hell out of them. Beat them on the cricket ground as much as we can beat them on a battleground. And then we wrote to the to the ICC, saying that, look, if terror is emanating out of a particular country, try and isolate that country in the ICC, so that all teams recognize the fact that, look, this is a country from where terror is emanating. And we need to discipline, or we need to isolate that country. It was with that spirit that we wrote to the ICC.
Mr. Rai, before I move to the women's cricket team, there are two more questions, and this is regarding Virat Kohli and Anil Kumble. Would you be, will it be fair to say that there was a direct rift between the two gentlemen?
Well, see, again, as you say, there were lots of speculations, but I have never seen Virat and Kumble together. I have never had a chance to interact with them. So, and nothing came to us in that sense, which would make us believe that there was actually a rift between them. I don't subscribe to that viewpoint. See, there can be difference of opinion. Both are legendary players. A particular issue, they will see it from different points of view. So I don't think there was a rift as such. Maybe there was a difference of opinion, but it happened between Saurav Ganguly and Greg Chappell. It has happened, as you pointed out, between other players, Mithali and Ramesh Powar. You see, so differences can happen, but because they are thrown together all the time, there will obviously be differences in perception.
But when you say that you had never seen them together, were there occasions that you would have ideally thought that they would be together, but they were not seen to be together? And that may be because of the background of that.
You're right. You're saying, when I say not seen together, means we have never interacted with the team that way. Which means a whole team where the captain is present, the players are present, and the team. By April we were interacting with some teams, but they were IPL teams. It was not the Indian national team as such. It was not the Indian seniors team. So that is what I meant when I say that I don't subscribe to the viewpoint that there is a rift between them.
So you essentially feel that this could be difference of opinion, and as was being speculated that perhaps Virat Kohli was not comfortable with some of the decisions regarding the team that was made by Anil Kumble?
I have not said that. I've never said that, and I don't feel it also. All that I've said was when I spoke to Virat, he said that the junior members of the team felt intimidated because of the maybe the culture of discipline or maybe anything like that. Nothing came to our level towards in front of us to indicate that there was differences in decisions between the two. Nothing came to us.
Okay. Since you have talked also about Mithali Raj and coach Ramesh Powar in your book, I want to understand what really happened and why was Mithali upset the way she was being treated by the coach?
Well, see, we need to appreciate the fact that Mithali is a legendary women's player. She's carried women's cricket on her shoulders for the last 20-22 years. And I mean, she's a great athlete. There's no two ways about that. All that I meant was if you want to handle such a senior player, you need to take that player into confidence, chat with the player, the team management, the captain, the players sit together and say, okay, XYZ is the issue. And we need to approach the issue in the following manner. And I'm very confident in my mind that anybody with the professional background and the seniority of Mithali would have herself opted if the team management felt that the team which won the previous match should be fielded again, she would have herself opted out. But telling such a senior player at the last moment is bound to create misgivings, and that's exactly what happened.
Uh, Compensation of cricketers is something that you have dealt extensively during your tenure, and one aspect that will be always something that I'm sure you would love to speak about. You have written, Mr. Rai, about a comment by Ravi Shastri that BCCI pays peanuts to its players made you sit up and take note. Please elaborate on how you revised really the compensation package of the cricketers.
Um, See, I think we got the feeling that when the compensation package of the cricketers is decided, the cricketers are never taken into confidence. No discussion takes place with them ever. So when we took charge, it was in March that we realized that their contracts post 2015 had not even been renewed, and also that their compensation package for the last 5 years had remained the same. Now, when I've dedicated this book to the cricketers, I've said that BCCI is the richest body today. Why? Because these players play, they are popular, and people come to watch. And there's media networking, because of which revenues flow into BCCI. Now, that kind of players, if you are underpaying them, I think it's unpardonable. So we, in March of 2017, which is barely 2 months of our taking charge, we doubled their compensation. And even after doubling it, Ravi made that comment which he has made. So in that year, in October, if I remember correctly, we had a discussion with the team captain, the coach, and others. And that's where we devised this formula, which I've called a flat pyramid, and their compensation packages were pegged to it. I won't say that we have made it exactly what the English players receive or the Australian players receive, but we have gotten to very close to what their packages look like.
Last question to you, and this is about IPL being the game changer of cricket. From raking in millions in revenue to spotting new talent, how has IPL become such a big phenomenon in a short period of time? And what next for IPL according to you?
So the first thing about IPL is a money spinner. A large number of what should I say, employment and generating activities go around IPL. So it's very essential to ensure that IPL remains on that ethical framework. Nothing goes wrong with it, because too many careers, too many reputations, too many clubs, etc., are connected with it, and they will go into disrepute. So, but the biggest thing that the IPL has done is that it has given opportunity for so many rookie players to be able to display their talent and be compensated for the talent that they have. So it has helped cricketers get a market value for themselves. And I think to that extent, IPL has done very well for this country and needs to be supported. Though lots of people feel that no, Test cricket is being ignored, etc. But only 11 players play Test cricket. IPL is played by 11 times 10, 10 clubs.
Thank you so much. Sir, thank you so much for your time and thanks for this interview and all the best for this book. Vinod Rai there sharing his thoughts about the book that is there, his book, Not Just a Night Watchman, My Innings in the BCCI. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you very much for having me, Anchal. It was nice. Thank you.